Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game show in the world.
Yeah.
I'm Ian, along with Jared.
Hello.
Aaron.
Hello.
And Dave.
We live for the couch, we die for the couch, we sit on the couch.
I'd rather be sitting on the couch right now.
Same here.
Remember, you can be a part of the conversation here on the couch by leaving comments and questions over on Twitter and Facebook at Couch Co-op Shows. All one word. Remember, no hyphen. Also, you can be watching us stream live. Hi.
Hello.
Stream us live
ladies
over
and
Twitch
gentlemen.
at twitch.tv/The Couch Co-op Show. And we will answer questions from the chat. If you type some in, we will be happy to answer them. We try to go live around 7 p.m. and it is 7 p.m. Monday nights. You can get the audio-only version of our show as a podcast on iTunes and Google Play now. Let's get the show.
Nice job, Ian.
Let's
That's
get
really
the
good.
show on the road. How is everybody doing?
Doing good.
Fantastic, actually.
It's a wonderful day
Yeah.
in
totally is.
the Oregon and Washington area.
Yeah, lovely and warm.
Nice and pretty, too.
Nice.
A couple more days of the warmth.
Yeah, drive while you can.
Windy.
I mean, we have to go outside.
Yeah. Chores.
That's
Chores.
the drawback of it, isn't it?
Yeah, chores have been waiting since the beginning of winter.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
It crimps your video game time when you have to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys want to do first? You want to do a listener question or you want to do news and speculation?
Question.
Let's go straight into the
Let's
question.
begin.
Alright.
As long as it isn't
Ask
about my
away.
breath.
Alright, it's not about your breath this time. BookhamFan78 asks, what year in video game history does each of you feel is the most important or best of its time? Is the year of the invention of a video game, the particular game or system came out? Plenty of things to think about. Just wonder what you guys think. What is
Okay, I guess I'll start with when the PlayStation 1 came out. I think that was 98 or 97.
No, that was 95 or 90. No, I think 96.
Okay, yeah. So
No, I think it's 92, 93. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right. But yeah, when the
Right.
PS1 came out, because what I remember most about the PlayStation 1 is that Sony published, or maybe not published, but they allowed such experimental games on their system that it just broadened so many horizons of different styles of games to come out in the future.
I'm gonna be.
So it was a good.
I was actually we're kind of 94 is when the PlayStation 1 came out.
Jeez, okay.
Wow.
I didn't realize I had it
Damn.
that long before I graduated. Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember first seeing it in college.
Okay,
In
so
96.
94. But yeah, so that's why I think it's the most important. Just other than that I like the PlayStation brand, it's
Yeah.
also a lot of those ideas have just carried forward throughout time. Like even something as simple as the music
So this is
genre.
To add to your idea of what the most basically the moment Nintendo told Sony to fuck off
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
pretty much.
beginning of
Yeah.
what
much.
will become the greatest movement in video games.
Yeah, which it was cool to see that to Nintendo PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in some
that was
ways
pretty
it's
awesome.
good though, because one became two.
Yeah,
You know, now you got the PlayStation and Nintendo. It's not
Well,
like it's not either or.
for a little while.
Nintendo's managed to hold on.
For that generation, but then Sony would eventually kill Sega.
which that makes me think if
but
it
Nintendo
did.
might have killed them,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it makes me think like if that didn't happen and it was the Nintendo PlayStation, would Sega still be around and would they have shot themselves in the foot?
They probably would.
Like-
GameCube or Dreamcast would have been huge.
Maybe
Yeah.
Microsoft
Oh,
would have
yeah.
took over the world.
So that
Yeah.
changed the face of the video game industry just like so quick.
I-
It's crazy.
I gotta say, the one year that changed was when the Xbox came out with their first online network gaming thing, because you can connect from people all over the world or local. Like that completely, I feel like changed the game. I don't remember when Xbox.
Xbox Live, so that's like what, halfway through the Xbox's lifespan
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't on launch.
yeah. So that'd be very late 90s.
Because that got huge
2000s.
Yeah.
when Halo 2 launched, I think, is when the multiplayer online really
Yeah,
exploded.
because Halo kind of started it. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the time when it actually kind of completely changed, because not only you can play like right down the street with people, or you can just go play with someone that has an Xbox on the other side of the United States or wherever, as long as they have your your username or ID or whatever. As long as you can do that and get a secure thing, which at the time was not so good, but
Was the original Xbox like when video game patches on consoles first were introduced?
It probably was.
That
but,
sounds like
Makes
something
sense.
that would.
You know, my Xbox 360 wasn't connected to the internet for most of its
Yeah.
life, and it managed to unhype without patches.
Yeah.
I think it's probably
I can only mention
PS3.
wonder.
Okay, so Jared's going with PS1. Aaron's going with Xbox Live.
We're talking about years here, though, aren't we?
Yeah, but I mean,
Nah.
well, it's console or year. It's that time period.
The era.
The
And-
era.
Yeah,
that-
the era for
What do you think? What is yours, Dave?
Mine is 1992, and the reason it's 1992 is I think that was the year that Commodore went bust, so the Amiga went under. They released the Amiga CD32, which was a 32-bit CD console. You also had the Atari Jaguar and its associated things coming out about then. You had the 3DO was kind of a thing. You had the Sega Mega Drive with the CD 32X and the CD drive. You had so much going on, and there were so many companies in the market, and so many it was that kind of very early transition from disc and cartridge to CD, where the games were becoming, the music was stepped up another level, and the graphics were stepped up another level. It was like going from teams of 5 or 10 programmers to tens of programmers. So I think that was probably one of my favorite years, because things were just moving so fast and changing so quickly.
Yeah, I get that. That's
Yeah.
a lot of the game systems wanted to be in like multimedia, pretty
Yeah, that
much,
was it.
with full motion
Multimedia,
video and
yeah.
all that stuff. That was a
you
huge
had
craze
that,
back then.
Yeah, you had those games like Night Trap and those
Yeah, and that
Make My Video.
wasn't that back in around the same era as the PC game Seventh Guest, where like so much video kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
so I might be wrong on the year. It might be 1993, but it's like that.
Early
It's
90s.
that
That's close
era
enough.
when you had like all things were moving from two-dimensional sprites to pre-rendered 3D graphics, and
Oh yeah, once the polygons started hitting
Yeah.
the systems, that was pretty huge.
probably even had polygons then. It was like motion capture, but
Well, they kind of tried like what didn't the Sega CD have Virtua Fighter?
yeah, they had that VFX chip.
Yeah, and
They didn't
Star
even
Fox
make
was in
the
around that
CD.
era.
Yeah, the mode 7
yeah,
graphics
so-
on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, so all that was kind of hitting right around then.
And it's a close tie between when new generations of technology come out, because I always enjoy that period, because it seems like the programmers have finally got to grips, and they're getting the most out of the previous generation of technology. And then you've got all the new stuff, which is taking it to the next level.
That's a good one.
Cool. Okay. I'm kind of with Aaron in that generation. I'm gonna go with the PS2. So for me, it's like, well, that came out like what 2000, so 2001. I think I got mine.
Yeah, that's about right.
Because before that, I never was really that into video games. They didn't look that great, and I feel like the PS2 in that generation kind of ushers in better cinematic stories.
It does usher in the mass market.
The games look a lot better. I don't know. And then eventually you do get the multiplayer aspect from Xbox, and Sony you'll see some of that a little bit. You won't see like an online presence yet, but I don't know. That's just when I really started playing video games really seriously. So that's kind of where I would be. I don't know if that's innovative, but it just feels like it matured enough that then I didn't feel like it was just a game for kids.
Plus, it was a cheap DVD player. That was the
Oh,
first
it
time a
was.
system
There's-
had a DVD player that actually
I
worked
got
inside
one
of
on
it.
launch day, and I think that's the only DVD player I had up until like
Yeah, same here.
the
Same.
mid 2000s.
Trojan horse.
Oh yeah, it was totally a Trojan horse. That got the technology just.
Well, yeah, people just
everywhere.
assume DVD players now are $30-$40. Back then, they were $200 or $300.
Oh yeah.
No
Your
kidding.
PlayStation 2 was $200 or $300.
Right.
Yeah.
Great question, Mr. Bucum fan.
What is Buku?
LTJ Bukum is a musician.
Oh,
Makes
okay.
trance music.
Thanks, Justin.
Yes, this.
I thought maybe
for
it was
those.
some Japanese thing. I'm in the mode.
No, for those. This is a Justin question. Okay, let's go on to news and speculation. Valve acquires Capo Santo, the developer behind Firewatch,
Sweet.
this weekend. That
You
news
mean
broke.
Valve are actually going to make a game?
Well, they're not making it, but they're going to publish it.
Yeah.
They're going to put some money in it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they're getting back into publishing, and Campo Santo is gonna have like basically endless funds to make their games.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Well,
Yeah.
someone's got to do it from Valve.
Right?
Well, that's
Maybe
pretty.
they'll make Half-Life 3. You know.
That's pretty awesome. On top of their news of several weeks back, where they said they're getting back into game development by
Yeah, 'cause
themselves.
Because they have their card game, collectible card game coming out.
Yay!
Not that it
Is that a
cares.
Dota card game, right?
I
Isn't
think,
it?
I think it has different characters.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I used to
I don't know.
play
I got
this in
nothing.
high school. I used to play the Star Trek collectible card
Oh,
game.
fun.
Yeah.
Pokemon
the
over here.
Extermination.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mr. Pokemon Aaron and Yu-Gi-Oh.
didn't pass me. So
Yeah.
Yeah, an ultra rare future Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
All right. COD Blops 4, no single player, but battle royale. Awesome, probably. That's the latest rumor on that one.
Basically, is it safe to assume from now on any multiplayer game is going to have a battle royale mode?
I wouldn't doubt it. There's going to be so many
Yeah.
E3
Yeah, yeah.
announcements.
Battlefield is also testing a battle royale mode. But the bigger thing is that COD Blops 4 is not going to have a single player campaign.
Yeah, I saw that.
that's me.
I think out
Sad.
of all the Call of Duty games, the COD Blops or Black Ops is the one that I stopped playing their single player because Black Ops 2 just kind of annoyed me with some of the random game modes they threw in it, so I just didn't finish that one. I didn't play 3. I'm not interested in 4. I think there were even statistics they released, or at least one of the publications released, that Call of Duty Black Ops is like the least amount of people play their campaign, but way more people played the World War II one, the more recent one.
Maybe it's just the eventual, we've reached the end point. Let's just skip the COD Blops story and go straight to the multiplayer, because a lot of people just play those games for the
Pretty
multiplayer.
much.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't even know. They're just like, what? Huh?
This
And-
right here.
It always asks if you want to download the multiplayer or the campaign first when you opt to download the patch or whatever, or install. It's kind of funny.
Well, we're not the target audience
No.
for Call of Duty, really.
Yeah, wake me up when they have the dildo sword.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah.
never happening.
Yeah, keep snoring.
Vroom.
So there's a new Castlevania game on
Yeah.
mobile.
Yeah.
What?
Not what you wanted, not what you're expecting. Who's gonna?
No.
Konami's just trying to make money, hand over fist. New Doom film at Universal.
Oh God.
Yay!
How are you excited?
I'll check it out someday.
I really hope they have a
Hopefully-
first-person mode at the end of the movie. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, hopefully they get some lighting for this one.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of battle royale modes, Housemarque, formerly of making great arcade twin stick shooters, teased a new multiplayer battle royale game shooter called Storm Divers. Yay. I don't know. I mean, no one was buying Housemarque's games, they claim, so they needed to switch their focus. And battle royale, guys. I guess when you don't know what to do,
That's
battle royale.
That's where it's at.
Yep.
Boss Key and Housemarque, they should join parties,
Oh, jeez.
right?
Well, Boss Key seems to
Boss
be doing
Mark.
all right though.
Hopefully, I hope that game works out for.
It's rough
Cliff-
though.
Cliff.
I watched some streaming of the what is it called?
I don't even know.
New
It's-
Radical Heights.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy off the wall. It's possible they might have dildo bats at some point. Um,
Write him an email, Dave.
it's basically like Saints Row, but a battle royale game. Something that was really exciting to me, the Beyond Skyrim team teased their next big mod of Iliac Bay. So it's like where the Britons live, and I don't think it's ever been actually in a game before. So this is a massive, huge mod by this team. They didn't really have a date, but
Is
it
this
looks
team a bunch of amateurs? They're not doing it for money, or is
right,
It?
and it's a huge team.
Yeah, that's that.
Um,
That's what makes it more impressive.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. It looks. I mean, their last what was it? it wasn't Cyrodiil itself. It was a city in Cyrodiil, but that game world looked even better than the actual Skyrim game. I mean, and this looks like to be on par. So
I wonder how many of these people are like young enough where they can submit this as work as kind of their resume to get into the gaming industry, or if this is like a bunch of dudes that are already working in it, just like, yeah, I want to do this for fun.
I know it's not maybe it's not on a lot of people's interest, but I would love to see a documentary that was like officially approved by Bethesda about all the modding, about the community of modding, what Bethesda thinks about how far. I mean, no game has been modded as much as Skyrim, and just how big that community is. I would love to see like a really officially supported documentary on that. I think that'd be super interesting.
That would be pretty cool.
Tomorrow, Detroit Become Human demo. You'll get to play the first chapter of the new Quantic Dreams game.
So we can download that on PlayStations.
Yes, if you're so inclined.
Yeah, I want to.
I'll check that out.
They're also the developer behind the game is suing the two French journalists who wrote the story about the toxic work environment at Quantic Dream. So that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know why, but
Yeah, we'll see.
It's like just let them be. The journalists have wrote the piece. You know.
Yeah.
we're trying to drum up some, publicity. Any good or whatever that saying.
I can't imagine lawyers are much cheaper than good publicity.
Yeah, right. I don't know. God of War #1 in UK sales, best in franchise history for the game.
I thought you weren't going to mention that to later.
No, that's just part of the news,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Congrats.
and I don't think there's much. There was some other stuff.
Did they say how many of those PlayStation Pros they've sold?
No, they haven't.
No.
I think the only better game that launched this year with higher sales, physical sales, is Far Cry. But Far Cry is also a multi-platform game, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I was looking at Far Cry today actually, and it's still not gone down. It's still like $55 most places.
You've been selling too good, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually the sign of a good game, is it doesn't.
Right. Well, it
Well,
was
Just
just,
tell the Game of the Year edition.
it didn't come out that long ago, though,
Usually.
either. I mean,
True.
and that's all I have for the news.
Sound disappointing.
It's kind of. I mean, all the news is going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Works.
Tuesday, let's hit all the news.
So we're gonna segue from the best sales of God of War into God of War. The topic of today is God of War, and I thought we would talk about what our experiences with the game have been in the past years. We used to do this old thing called Franchise Focus, and so we're gonna focus on God of War franchise. The original game was creative director was David Jaffe, and that was in 2005.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
God of War 2 was in 2007. Then there were two. And then there was a mobile game called Betrayal in 2007, a 2D side scroller.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
I didn't even know they existed.
Then in 2008 and 2010, there were two PSP games, Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta. Then 2010 was God of War 3. 2013 was the not so well received God of War Ascension, which was a prequel, and it also introduced multiplayer for the first time. So, which of the series wants to go?
Was God of War 3 on the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3?
PlayStation 3, and then they had a remaster for 4.
Yeah.
Ah,
So which ones
Okay.
did you guys play?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3 as well.
1 and 2.
I played 1, 2, and a little bit of Ascension.
How did the multiplayer work on that?
I did not play the multiplayer.
I was going to say, a God of War multiplayer
That doesn't seem bad.
It
Good,
doesn't
I should
sound
say.
bad, but it doesn't immediately suggest any particular gameplay mode.
I believe they gave Ascension away for free on PS3.
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't download or play it, but I claimed it in my library.
I think I claimed it.
It's sitting in the pile.
It's just
It
there.
could be an easy platinum, you never know. You should go back
Oh,
to
I
it.
doubt it. If it's online, they probably have a bunch of dumb online trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no one plays it anymore.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of the franchise, though? Like, initially, what was your experience with it?
I always really liked it for just the grand scheme of things. I didn't really think too much about Kratos. I just really enjoyed the backdrops because they've always been really good about making really huge looking environments with a lot happening.
Yeah, and large creatures.
Yeah, and
too.
the creatures you're smashing their face in, and these things are huge, way taller than your screen or anything in it. So yeah, it's the scale has always really impressed me with those.
I kind of put it in the same category as Devil May Cry games.
Yeah,
in
makes
a lot of
perfect
ways,
sense.
in the button mashing battles, but there's some scale there. But it's kind of linear. It's not. Or
Oh yeah,
up
that's
until maybe the latest one, which I haven't played, but
yeah.
I played the first two, and they were very enjoyable, and the story was pretty good, and they weren't hard games, but they were fun to play, like mashing up the combos.
So my first experience with the game is, I think, so I had a 2003, 2004, I had a subscription to PSM,
Mhm.
PlayStation Magazine. I might have had it in 2005, if I'm still around then. So I think I was on a mailing list, and they actually mailed me, or because I was on a mailing list, Sony mailed me a demo for God of War in like a thin little cardboard
Yeah, I
thing.
got that.
Oh yeah, background.
And that was my first experience with it, and I played through it, that first thing, and then I was just like, nah, I'm not interested. And so I didn't. God of War wave hit, and everyone liked the games. I know Justin was a big fan of the games, and I used to watch him play it, but it's just never a thing I was that into. And then, what was it? I bought the PS3 remastered versions, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a try again. And I played through 1 and most of 2, and I just couldn't stand Kratos. It just drove me nuts. I was like, I'm done with this guy. Like, fuck this. And I don't know why I played Ascension. I just tried it. Maybe I was trying to like harvest some trophies out of boredom or something. I don't know. Or there's a really slow, but then I just couldn't get into it. Like, so that's kind of where my like this is most of it's funny too because most of the Sony franchises like Uncharted, God of War, just not interested into. You know, just like I just don't care. But I'm a big Sony fanboy, which is bizarre. But yeah, God of War, I just never really cared.
Yeah, I like Sony's consoles, but yeah, a lot of the franchises just don't get anything for me.
Well, I think by the time God of War 3 came out, I was, old enough to where I didn't really care about the gore or anything like that. Like, I remember seeing the stage performance and he's spilling the guts out of this enemy, It's a really super violent game with guts and blood and knocking heads off and beating their skulls into pulp, and it was all about just the pure violence. So I'm glad they kind of gave it a break for a while past that because it just got a little tiresome.
I was listening to I can't remember which podcast, like Rebel FM or something. They had some kind of inside, like there. I guess there was a before this current God of War came out. There was another God of War game that they were in development, and then they just shut it down because it just wasn't working out again. It's like something after Ascension. I don't know, but yeah, I'm glad that they kind of just let it die for a while.
Yeah. Maybe they just had another angry god story.
How about you, Arnett? When did you remember when you first played the?
I
Remember back when it was an RPG?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot about that.
Top 10 RPGs, baby.
Oh. Nah, I just remember when that game first came out, 2005. I picked it up. I liked the game itself. It was really. I mean, now that I look back on it, the story was kind of meh. But at the time, I really enjoyed the story, and the whole just ripping bad guys apart piece by piece.
The power of elements.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And you could actually
Well, you're like you're like a angsty teenager at this point, right?
young angsty 18.
Yeah, see.
Oh, man.
Because how old were we? We're like mid-20s?
Sounds about right.
Late 20s?
Mid to late, I think. I met you guys.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
But I like the game, and now I look back, I'm like, I really crave story, and now I look even more so. No, I was kind of dumb to like it for its story. It's really just a good hack and slash.
I don't know, for the offerings back then, I mean, the story wasn't
Metal Gear Solid.
horrendous, yeah. I mean, the story content was pretty much just stuck in RPGs and action games where it kind of questionable. So, I mean, really God of War, it did good for its time. It did.
Yeah, and then I played 2, and that one I felt like had a little bit more going on. I mean, it's still simple. It's still continuing the whole angry god man, little bald guy hacking daddies up still. But then I played 3, and that one, the graphics on that were just incredible at the time. I mean, they just really took more time to do all the stuff, and there's that giant Poseidon who
Yeah.
filled the entire screen. That was awesome. Though they really could have put a little more thought into some of the bad guys in some of those, like, you don't get to really fight Hermes, you have to chase him. That was really stupid, but,
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was. Then you had to fight Zeus towards the end. That was really one of the harder fights I ever had in a game. But Poseidon was probably my favorite. But
One thing I heard about their development process for those main God of War games is that they did the very first level as one of their final challenges.
yeah,
For all the things they learned with the engine, they did their best and to make it wild and crazy. You know, it's the Hydra, you had the Poseidon one and 3. I forgot what the second one was.
well, there was Hades.
What was the first level in that one?
And which one?
The second one, God of War 2.
No.
I don't remember what that one
the Titans
was.
in that one, if I remember
I
right.
feel like they do that. With
Yeah,
Metal
was
Gear
that the
Solid as
Titans?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Isn't that Athens with all the ash?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
there's-
something. I
there's
think
also-
so.
Because the first one is the Hydra.
Yeah.
Isn't it where you're running around the city and it's all ashy?
Yeah.
I think
There's
so.
the big dude hanging
Yeah,
out in the
that's
bed.
right.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like this grand epic scale on the first level of every single one of the God of War games.
yeah. I remember.
Yeah. And they all, supposedly they always program those last.
Yeah.
I always feel like the God of War games, or at least God of War 1 was the first game where I had a true sense of scale. You know,
Okay.
where you felt like when you were going up against the big bad guys, they were actually really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they weren't impossible to beat.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things is the engine that God of War runs on. The game they were working on before that, where they were working with the engine, was Kinetica, and it's like the kind of a car combat game. You know, like you're the people and
Yeah.
your blades.
Huh.
You race on this. I have it on PS2,
Okay.
and you basically have these suits that have wheels on the hands and feet.
Yeah, I remember
good?
something about it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
Oh
fine.
no, I know the one you mean.
And you
Yeah.
kind of turn and you bump people. That's by Sony Santa Monica, and that engine is what would become the engine for God of War.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
So basically, I guess I just wanted to talk about like how we, then did you care about the violence? Did you really care?
I remember being not shocked, but I remember thinking it was one of the most violent, or at least the first one was one of the most violent video games I played. Because I think it might have, was it before or after Grand Theft Auto?
That was after Grand Theft Auto 3.
It was, yeah, but it was, I mean, it was pretty like in your face and lots of knives and stabbing and stuff. So,
And then there was a lot of sex.
Yeah.
yeah,
sex
that was the other thing, yeah.
and
there's-
sex mini games.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little
Yes.
I don't know. I think at that point I didn't really notice it. I mean, I noticed it, of course, but I thought it was more funny.
Yeah, I didn't care. It was
Gore
just-
tearing wings off of things and whatever. Just
It was just nice to see a video game that wasn't afraid of like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, you know. Because I think coming out in the late '90s, a lot of video games were afraid to be that graphic.
Yeah.
Because you know all the parents would be like,
Yeah.
that was children into murderers."
I,
I've yet to murder anyone, by the way.
yeah, same here.
me either.
Uh,
I personally never really felt like that game ever really offended me in terms of like the gore and the killing stuff. Like, I mean, I played before. I mean, between now and the PlayStation stuff like that, that's never really bothered me ever. And of course, I've also played other more brutal games like Dead Space and Resident Evil and stuff like that. Those games were like, if you play those games, you're kind of like meh with God of War. Even the part in 3 where you rip off Apollo's head or something like that, and it's like meh compared to that.
Yeah, that's probably like movies. So I mean, I was watching something the other day, and they blew this guy, top of this guy's head off, and it was like a TV show. And the special, I was thinking, wow, the special effects were much better than most of those movies. Oh, it's
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
things
but
have moved on.
yeah, the violence always just seemed like it fit in that world.
Oh,
So
it did.
it didn't
Yeah.
seem off-putting or anything. It's just part
Yeah,
of
you imagine
that
a world
lore.
in which God's kind of in the control of destiny
Yeah.
of mankind.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a violent world. I mean,
So minus
Get shit of you.
the current God of War that just came out, since only Jared and I have played it. What did you have a favorite in the series at that time? Like we'll say after not this one, but what was your favorite game in that series?
I think it was 2 because I mean I don't remember the beginning too well, but I do remember the Titans, and I loved the cinematic aspect of the game. It was just such cool cinematics in it, and the gameplay, it was God of War, so it was really cool with huge backdrops and massive, just climbing up Gaia, I think it was near the end.
That was pretty cool.
That whole segment was just so cool.
So we earned.
I gotta say 3 because I felt like it was like the end of the series because like as you destroyed the gods with the help of the Titans, like you could see parts of the world breaking apart. Like when you took down Poseidon, the water disappeared. When you took down God, what's his name, the underworld guy, Hades, like something else happened with it. And then like when you took down Zeus, the sky got all black. Like, everything just completely faded from existence because they were the ones holding everything together. You can't feel like you had an impact as you did. I mean, granted, you were kind of helping yourself out at the end, but you kind of felt like he kind of started feeling more guilty as he had to take down these gods because just at the end he was kind of like, what did I do? I caused all this to happen. This is bullshit.
And I guess I was talking about 3.
Okay.
Anyway.
How about you do? Do you have a favorite, or do they blur
No,
together?
1 and 2 blur together for me.
Right.
It's like 2 is just more of one.
Yeah.
Continuation of the plot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't really care for them at all. Kratos is such an asshole. Just like a character I just could never just not get into for some reason. And I like violent games. I like.
Reminds me of a couple of movies I've watched where they make the character such an arsehole in the first 15, 20 minutes that it doesn't matter that they're really nice for the rest of the movie. All you can think is they're an arsehole.
Well, I don't even think he's never nice again. And then, yes, you're on a vengeance tale, but Jesus Christ, you're not just killing them, you're just killing everything. And it's just so, I don't know, I just could never get into it. And he's just, even to people that are helping him, he's just a dick to them. And it's just, it kind of got, I don't know, just, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I could never get into it. And so, yeah. So this is interesting as we Jared and I will go into our slight review of this new game. But Cory Barlog, the game director of this current one, so he's been with this series for a very long time. He was a lead animator on 1. He was the game director of 2 and 3, but he left 3 8 months after development started, and he went off and did some other stuff. He did help write Ghost of Sparta, which is the PSP version, but in 2013 he rejoined Sony Santa Monica and put a team together then to work on this new current incarnation of God of War. Now, the main reason I wanted to talk about God of War and all the old stuff is, and why I played it, is that even though I don't like it, I am really glad and appreciative of playing some of that stuff because, man, this new game is so, there's just a lot of feels, and even though I didn't like what was going on then, it just really hits a lot of like notes in that game that is just so important, I think. And I don't want to spoil anything obviously for anybody, but there's just a lot of awesome moments in it. I'm really appreciative for having played and suffering through those games in a way. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where to even start with the new game, but it is, believe the hype, I think. It is as awesome as everyone is saying.
So let's start with the first question. Is it an RPG?
There's heavy RPG elements.
It's more of an RPG than it ever has been.
I mean, there are side quests. You do get quests from people. You do craft things in a sense. There's a,
You can look at the map.
You level
there's
up.
Waypoints.
Can you dick around with your costume?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely getting into.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of heavy. I would still say it's more. I would say it's less a hack and slash game now. It's more of an action adventure game.
Yay.
Yeah, you actually have to plan out your battles and do a lot better.
So, but I wouldn't say it's a full-on RPG, but it definitely has some really heavy RPG elements in this time around. So, But yeah, we'll answer any of your questions you guys have. That'll make it easy. But Jared, do you want to say how your experience has been with the game?
Yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. As I was saying earlier, is the scale of the old ones really got me. I just bumped into a part at a lake that the scale is like nothing I've ever seen. It was so impressive.
Yeah, it's interesting too because the scale has kind of in a sense been flipped. Where it used to be the little guy and it pulls out to this big thing, the camera now sits right over his shoulder. So the scale is kind of reversed in a way, and the way they do it is just because the whole thing is one camera shot. The game never breaks or cuts or anything. It's just really impressive how cinematic the game is.
Yeah, it's really
So is
great.
Kratos a more sympathetic character this time around?
You can tell he has other concerns other than himself.
He's
That's
got a
pretty
bit
nice.
older and he's mellowed a bit.
He's still there.
He's still a violent MO, but
It's it's just, but he's like matured quite a bit.
He knows that he had a problem in the first 3 games, and he's trying to
Rectify.
fix
In a sense,
some issues
fix it
based
by
on
killing everyone.
No. Well, here's the other thing. I think the game does a really good job of, explaining why they have to kill these people. Where in the past, or in like a lot of games, like Uncharted or whatever, the hero doesn't want to kill people, but then he kills like 400 dudes. In this game, you don't kill a lot. I mean, you kill a lot, but it seems like it's meaningful in a sense. He's trying to, teach his son things, and so, I don't know, it's just a really well made. You know how some games have this is really good and that's really good, but it doesn't quite. I think everything in God of War just gels together so well.
So is it like, when you say gels together, I think of Horizon where it's like nothing super original, but all gels together really well and tells a good story. Is it basically that kind of level of stuff, or does it bring something new to the gameplay?
Well, I think the single shot camera thing brings something totally new to the game. I mean, I've never seen that, and it sounds like it was super hard to do.
I wish
Sounds like
anybody
it would be.
luck in duplicating that. That's it's
yeah.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
The other thing I will say is like Horizon does a lot of good things well, but like a lot of the side quest characters are just throwaway, uninteresting, and a lot of dialogue in Horizon just kind of ugh. I feel like all the dialogue, all the characters in God of War are just top form. I mean, this is just all top form.
All the ones I've met are really interesting and different. They don't all talk the same or just have weird little dialogue bits. They're actually well fleshed out characters.
It's just, and then I feel like it is a simple story, but the story hits more emotional notes for me than Horizon, even though Horizon has a really kind of cool sci-fi story.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it's kind of original, more original than I would say God of War story is, obviously.
Horizon's quite a cold sci-fi story.
Right.
So God of War's more of a human.
I mean, God of War is a really
Emotional
simple,
story.
really. I mean, it's the simplest of plot, really, when you get down to the basics of what's going on in God of War. But their interaction and their conversation and the evolution of the characters is what you're really. It's kind of like a character study, I guess, more so than that kind of thing. And it's really impressive to see a game do that. And I don't know, I was kind of blown away. I mean, I was. You're always kind of like, I don't like this franchise. And there's a lot of hype for this franchise, and
I must admit, I was surprised you bought it off the
Yeah,
Yeah, I actually bought the PS4 Pro bundle with God of War.
woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a nice looking place.
Well,
That's pretty cool
how
looking.
many months have I been talking about the right time and right deal for a PS4 Pro?
Yeah, I was really surprised when you sent the photo out, and I think the text messages were all in the wrong order.
Oh yeah. Our text messages have been all jacked
Maybe we
up.
could probably
Yeah.
start a
Okay.
group or something, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm gonna blame Aaron.
hey,
I'm really, eager for you guys, Dave and Aaron, to play it, and then come back and have, in a few weeks, and have a more spoiler-filled conversation about the game, and whether you guys are going to enjoy it as much as we did, or because Jared, I finished it, I beat it, but I'm still playing it. Oh my gosh, there's so much content. and it's not like it's content you feel like you need to do. It's just I finally constantly find myself adventuring. Very unlike a lot of games. Like in Assassin's Creed, I was platinuming it and I felt like it was a work. Like I'm having to do this.
Yeah.
I'm grinding it out. Dude, I don't know, man. I beat it late Saturday night, and I had put like 18 hours into it. And then the next Sunday, yesterday, I got up and I put another 8 hours, and I was just tooling around, finding up these other, quests, and everyone's so well developed, and it just seemed like it was a natural continuation of the game, and that I don't know, it's magical, I think, in a sense. I don't know. Super awesome.
One thing I like about the progression is you'll walk by things and just kind of look at it, and like that's got to be something. Where most games will tell you, oh, you need this item.
Yeah.
This game's just like, no, you don't know what this is yet. It's just move along.
Yeah. When you find it, you come back.
Yeah. It looks different, and you'll know why later.
It's not like a complete open world, but it's a very gated open world. So it's kind of like the current Tomb Raider games, or kind of some of the Uncharted stuff, I guess.
Yeah, they have large zones to explore.
Yeah.
Branching paths kind of thing. If the one way looks like it's this place you're supposed to go the other way, kind of a thing.
But I don't know, super awesome game. Yeah, I think it is at this point. Obviously, it is my game of the year. I don't know what else is going to beat it. I guess Red Dead's out there, but I don't think Red Dead will. From what I've seen so far of Red Dead, I don't think it'll come close so far. But
What about Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter is a great and entertaining game, and I love to do it. And I've spent more time in that than anything in a long time.
I played a bunch of that this weekend too.
Isn't that how I'm a story guy at the end of the day?
Oh, yeah.
The Monster Hunter story is kind of shit.
That's a fair.
Yeah, you're not
that's a
playing
fair
for the
assumption.
story.
But anyway, if you guys have any more questions you can answer it or not, we can move on. Or if Jed has something else you wanted to say.
No, I just want to play more. I want to keep going. It's one of those games that you can easily sit down because you're satisfied by what's been going on, but there's always something calling you back because it's just so interesting, and you're in a sense of wonder, just wondering all the characters and what their stories are about, or like even the Smithies, like what's the conversations with them.
Oh my god.
They're really awesome.
I don't want to spoil anything with Jared because he's not finished, but wow, those characters are hilarious. And then just the Norse mythology is super. I know a little bit of it, but not a lot. And just listening to, because while you travel, you hear these stories and stuff, and it's just really awesome the way that stuff gets handed out to you. And
so, were you reading the entries that Atreus was putting in his journal about each enemy or character or anything that?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know where you are in the game, so I don't want to spoil anything.
I've been doing all that, just reading, because it'll throw you hints
Right.
and stuff about the enemies and some lore.
Right.
I was gonna actually ask about Atreus. Is he like somebody you can control, or does he kind of do his own thing? Do you have like a sub goal?
You can control him with square by
And he does-
directing where his arrows are going to shoot.
Okay.
And he does both, actually.
Oh, sweet.
And he has his own skill tree. You level him up.
Nice.
And armor and upgrades for his weapons and stuff like that.
Okay, that's what I was curious about, because I didn't know if he had a complete control system where he just kind of followed you around and
You don't have to worry about him dying.
Okay.
It's not like a fucking
Resident
escort
Evil
mission
5.
or something like that. No,
He's not a problem.
He's capable. He's not annoying. He's
Okay,
super
good.
entertaining. He makes the. They make the whole game possible.
Well, yeah, I made it to a point where he definitely shows his skill.
Oh, good. That's what I was worried about.
Alrighty. So far, I'm giving it the highest of recommendations. We don't really give scores here, but it's, believe the hype. It's like a 10.
Yeah, so far so good.
I don't think I had. I haven't even talked about the puzzles, but the puzzles are really fun. There's so much shit going on in this game.
Yeah, just throwing the axe around at the different little bells and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
And then there's shit that they don't even explain in the game that you just come upon. It's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and just play right now. Anyway, so we'll talk more. You'll be hearing more about God of War for a while, I'm sure. So we'll move on to what we've been playing, guys. And obviously on the beat list, I beat God of War. Anyway.
I did beat a game.
But
I didn't.
what you guys been playing?
Well, do you want to do the beat list?
Oh, would
first?
you? Okay, would you beat something?
I beat Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice.
yeah.
Such a good game. I
Did
loved
you
it.
platinum it?
No, I
That
missed.
was my
I missed
first
like,
question.
I missed like 5 little stones around there.
You didn't go back through?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to, but I don't know if I will. I probably should just go find the trophy hunter thing online, right?
You can find a guide and they'll show you where there are.
I should borrow this from one of you and get them.
It's
Digital.
Digital only.
Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, you can get the guide, but you pretty much have to run through the whole game again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll download it on your system, Dave.
I was going to say, you could give me your old system. Now you've got a new pro.
Yeah.
Alright, did you beat anything, Dave?
Nope.
Nope, no beats. Alright, just Aaron and I on the Norse mythology action. Okay, Jared, what have you been playing?
I mentioned it already. God of War and Monster Hunter. My cousin finally picked it up as well as Jason, so I can start playing that again in the early stuff. So yeah.
I did notice that it's May 4th? It's one of the other Street Fighter characters, Sakura?
Yeah, I think Sakura.
She comes she's a high level. Her costume you'll be able to play high level.
Okay.
She's a high level challenge in the arena. So.
Well,
what
that's the one that is always all over Ryu, isn't she? That's like Ryu's little,
I guess it's something like that.
like, I don't know. She's a little teenage girl or something like that.
Yeah, she is. So
Yeah, she wants to learn from Ryu or something.
So,
Yeah. Super adorable.
so I'll come back and grind that costume out.
Yeah. Well, so I jumped into just solo round of the new Elder,
Yeah.
and you get to go into kind of a new zone. It's pretty
cool.
small, and you can only explore it for a little bit. It doesn't have like an excursion mode or anything like that, but it gives you 50 minutes, and I thought it gave you 50 minutes, but because I was not attacking him, I was doing more exploring. He escaped early, so I only got to explore for like 10, 15 minutes. But while you're doing that, you can kind of knock some rocks on his head and start attacking him and stuff and get some of the gold off of him so you can forge some stuff.
Right.
So I was doing that, and there's some critters you can capture with the net. So it's worth it just jumping in there solo, because it introduced a new siege mode where there's like 4 groups of 4, so it's 16 people that are going to be fighting this Elder. So it'll be a challenge, because I couldn't imagine doing it with one person. I'm sure
No.
people have already, but there's cannons you can load and prepare for when he comes by you. There's rocks you can drop on his head if you shoot him with your
Interesting.
rocks or whatever. So there's traps you can lay for him, but he's so huge.
I guess you're supposed
Looks
to
really cool.
break off his mantle on his head.
Yeah,
That's one of the big prizes.
You
on
have
it.
to destroy, to complete the actual event, you have to destroy both of his horns. And that's the end of the event. But supposedly, like every time you go, you have to be in one specific group and stick with that group. Kind of like our couch co-op thing. If we kept on just battling that until the end of it, this tally will keep going up of more experience earned on the character. And
Interesting.
yeah, so it's something you have to just kind of
Keep doing
knock away over time. But it goes away so quick. It's like the beginning of May, it's gone.
Right.
Like May 9th.
I'll have to jump in there and check it out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I want to jump in with a bigger group and see if we can get a little farther. That'd be pretty awesome, because it's really cool in there. It's, he's armor plated in gold, and supposedly you can knock off a bunch of weapons off of him, because metal is attracted to him.
Interesting.
So he's collected different ranges of weapons.
Hmm.
So you can get variants of a lot of different weapons that you could already forge. Just they have like a gold variant, pretty much.
I bet this comes back. I bet this is their way of playtesting this mode.
Yeah, and it seems like a really cool mode. Just I need to jump in some of the bigger groups, because you can filter when you're matchmaking into advanced groups or groups that plan on only going for certain things. So it might be worth digging into that, because it's really cool from what I saw.
Cool. Aaron, you been playing something else or only Hellblade?
Mainly Hellblade. I did jump into the arena and Monster Hunter. I'm trying to get the Mega Man armor, but now that I hear more about the siege mode, I might have to try that out myself.
You have to be level 16, I believe.
Oh, son of a...
Get on it there.
So there's 3 people I've played with
You're
that
not level
can't
16
jump in it
yet?
yet.
No. As far as I know, I'm not yet.
Yeah, you might be close. You might be close, but I mean, you beat Nero Gigante, right?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, that was locked at what, 19?
No.
No, okay, yeah,
No.
that was pretty early then. Okay.
Because it's like he's like 13 or 14. Because then when you finally beat him, because then when you beat the story, then you level up a bunch of times.
So I was talking to Ian in the car last week about what Monster Hunter needs, and they need an app like Destiny has.
That would be nice, actually.
Because then you'd be able to look at your friends' stats and their character pages. You'd be able to sort your equipment and do all kinds of stuff like that, where it would be useful. Because I don't know, like conversing with you right now, it'd be easy just to check your character.
Yeah.
You can send out character cards and all that to all your friends.
Capcom has no care for this.
No, but I think it'd be really cool to have
Probably.
manage loadouts, because loadouts are pretty important in that game.
All right, Dave. What have you been playing?
Some more Just Cause 3.
Just Cause.
Working my way through it, captured a big base. I think I'm about 2/3 through the missions. It's a good game. I really like the way you travel around the map with the wingsuits and parachutes, and you can do fast travel. That's really cool, and I like taking over the areas, even though they are kind of spread out sometimes.
He packs up that parachute pretty quick, doesn't he?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, packs it. You can
Well,
use it again,
if you
deploy.
use the wingsuit and then you hit the parachute, you go up a couple of foot, and then you can wingsuit again. So
Yeah.
you pretty much fly forever.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And then I've been playing Doom VFR, and it's good, but it knocks me nauseous.
Uh-oh.
You know, Doom is a very fast game, and the way I've got it set, I can play it for about half an hour tops before I'm like really pushing it.
Did you unlock it to full motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fast like the original game. You don't
Oh
do
yeah,
those
I mean
weird
it's fast to turn around.
quarter turns.
Like one battle, so I had the headset on and I was facing the TV when I started. And when it finally saved and exited, I was facing like 3/4 of the way, like almost the opposite way completely, and I had no clue.
That's funny.
Because there was so many things flying around me, I'd be like, shoot left, shoot right.
Yeah.
You know.
It sounds fun though.
It is fun. It's not as polished as Farpoint in a lot of ways. So when you use the aim controller with Farpoint, just simple things like if you tilt the gun over, the gun in your hand tilts over, so it feels like you're actually holding what you see, because as you move what you've got in your hands, it moves on screen with you.
Right.
Whereas in Doom, it doesn't. I mean, it's basically just point. So as long whatever direction it's pointing in is whatever direction it's pointing in, but it's always vertical.
You might as well just play with the controller.
I honestly think the move controllers might be a better deal, because later on you can dual wield, so you can have like a grenade launcher in one arm and a shotgun in the other. And when you're using the aim controller, you can only aim to whatever's in your right hand.
Interesting.
Whereas I believe if you have move controllers, because there's two of them, you can aim your secondary like weapon in a different
How do you
direction.
joystick that?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know.
you'll have to give that a shot. Maybe even try the controller just sitting down, just with your PS4 controller and sit down.
Yeah, I think I'm going to beat it, because I think I went to hell, or I'm on my way to hell, which is the last level.
Okay.
I feel like I'm at least halfway through.
Because the game's different than the original, right? It's quite a bit
uses
different.
a lot of the same zones and a lot of the same models, and some of the battles are the same, but it's like condensed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, smaller experience, but still do.
Yeah, you're in the same areas, and they tend to stack the baddies more than they do in the original Doom. So, it starts off with some of the little demons, and you get the bigger demons, the bigger ones still, and so on and so forth.
I remember playing it. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't give you like the animations when you melee kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. Just
Although
you teleport inside of them, and they kind of splat.
I kind of like the teleport kill. It's actually really useful.
It is cool, but I think it should teleport so you do the melee kill, because those were really cool.
You should kind of like dive with your hands together and then like pull them apart.
Yeah,
or
you could
something.
do something to animate it, because those were really cool. I mean, as I said earlier, I don't really care. I think gore is more funny than it is gross.
I think it's a game that could do really well in VR, but I feel like the VR implementation is kind of half-baked a little.
They forced it?
Yeah, they just didn't.
Well, it was based on an engine that wasn't made for VR, so they just kind of had to fight it. I'm sure.
True, but it works pretty well with the it's the small things. It's not the macro things. I mean, it would be nice if you had a freaking jump button at times as well, because you get stuck on like little steps.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're like, why can't I step up here? And then you're like, oh, I've got to teleport.
Or probably because it'll make you throw up.
Yeah.
True.
Oh yeah, well
But then
yeah.
you're like, oh, I've got to teleport to get up there.
Right.
You know, and it's like a 6-inch step.
Oh, funny,
You're
yeah.
like,
Gosh.
Just
I've got
pretend it is a jump.
But yeah, jumps, again, like when I go downstairs in VR when it's full motion, it's just like, whoa, where'd my knees go?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't imagine jumping out of things or on things or down cliffs and not falling over in real life.
Yeah, I do think Farpoint did a much better effort integrating the VR into it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I played a little bit of Farpoint and helped Ian out through the scary bits with the spiders.
Yeah,
And
someone has to
I
save him from the
had a lot of
spiders.
fun with that.
You can tell that's probably why he hasn't beat it.
Yeah,
Spiders
There's
come
no
back.
spiders at the end.
Spiders
Alright.
come back.
really?
I
They
haven't got, I
do?
haven't got to that point yet.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Everything comes back.
Oh,
I
man.
just, I have too many games. Some games I just,
Yeah.
I just haven't touched my VR in a while. It's just one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of find I have to force myself to play it in some respects because most nights I'm like, oh, I can put that on and stand up, or I can just sit on the couch and play Just Cause.
I
Or
only,
sit on the couch and watch TV.
I find I only really pull it out when it's someone who hasn't tried it, and it's like, yes, let's do it.
Bring
Super fun.
your external and drag it over to my place next week and let's test out the Pro. I'm interested. I don't want to buy one right now.
It's
but,
so much work to get my PlayStation camera and stuff disconnected,
Yeah.
just back and around.
Yeah.
Man.
Like Dave
That's-
has an easier setup to take apart than I do.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is the VR just has way too many cables.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. Once you set it up, it's hard enough. Like I was saying, it's hard enough to put the thing on your head, let alone disconnect the like 7 cables or whatever it is. It's
Jeez.
all connected up.
Yeah.
Just cleaning it was a bitch. When I cleaned my game room, dusted it heavily a couple weeks back, and I was just like, ugh.
They sell some nice cases at Best Buy,
They do.
Yeah.
That's some money I can just spend on another game.
or you could just
That
put
I'm not
a
gonna
nice
play.
cloth over it, just like your
I'll do
camera.
it.
You played anything else, Dave?
No.
No, that's it. All right. I bought a little game called Robonauts on the Switch. It was like $3.
I thought you were going to say Robo Nazis.
No, Robonauts. And it's just a little like arcade platformy game. It's pretty cool. It's kind of cool because you travel around the planet and shoot these things, and then you can jump to other planets.
That's fun.
So it's kind of cool. And it was on sale for $3. It has a demo. I played the demo. The demo was fun. $3. That seems like a good price. So I played a little bit of that, and then Ghost Recon, obviously. Still just like with Dave and Just Cause, I kind of tap in and out of that game. And then I reached champion point 165 in ESO, and
Ooh, nice.
I streamed it. Was it Friday night? I think so. So
Are you now the DPS player, is it? Or
I'm a
what?
DPS player, yes.
Have you reached your goals in DPS?
No, I have not reached goals. I now at 160 I get the best gear. So now I just have to work on making that gear better. But I did like a 4-hour stream, and JPK, Bill, and Danny were all in the chat with me streaming out, and it's a pretty hilarious stream of all of us chit-chatting. JPK was talking about the show, and he's talking about Far Cry 5, and he was going to write us a review of it so that we can read on the air at some point. And
If you want, so you can record it and send it to us.
he could record the audio. I also said that he could probably just be on the show, and we could just call in. He could call in, and we could just plug him in. But he said he's going to be busy for a couple weeks or something, so he's going on holiday, as he said.
Oh.
Wow, his radio days are over.
So when people are in your
He's over
chat,
it.
like JPK, I don't know if do you know if he has the share one broadcast thing? Because
Yeah.
that's actually an option you have to enable.
Yeah, so me and Bill go with it all the time, and then we're all making fun of that. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure everyone. I'm not sure if Danny was, but
Because that'd be not
it'd be funny. It was a pretty
Yeah.
funny conversation. The stream was pretty hilarious at the beginning.
okay.
We were all playing. JPK is going through Mad Max right now. He really likes that game, and so we were all. And Danny was playing Far Cry 5, and I was playing ESO with Bill, and it was pretty funny. It was good times. So if you care, that stream is probably gonna go for a while longer. But so ESO, I've been playing that, and yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Well, you brought up the Switch. I did play a little more Blossom Tales, but
Blossom Tales.
nobody cares. But I'm enjoying it.
Really, I've just been playing God of War. That's all I care about. It's all in my mind.
Yeah.
All right. We can wrap this up, man. We don't even.
Actually,
Oh,
are we going to beat Broforce?
Yeah,
we
try.
might try to
Try.
go for it.
Do we have enough time to do Aaron's
This is-
mobile minute?
No,
No,
no.
we're out of time.
We're out
Oh
of time.
man.
Save it for next week.
Yeah, sorry, Aaron.
This is the latest
it's okay.
couch co-op. We're going to beat Broforce.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll beat it.
hopefully
We're on the
we'll
last island.
stream it. Hopefully we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. Anyway, I want to thank all of you guys for listening, and anybody who watched for like 2 seconds. Remind you to leave feedback on Twitter and Facebook at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. The Twitch channel is twitch.tv, The Couch Co-op Show. We'd also appreciate it if you could leave us a review on iTunes, and I guess do they probably do reviews on Google Play? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like
Probably.
any Google thing you can review.
Just leave us a review.
Leave it.
I want to thank Jared,
Of course.
Aaron,
Absolutely.
and Dave
On the couch.
for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
It's a guy, hey.
Bye.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.